Got a bit of a scratchy throat, so bear with me. Pope Francis said, "The family, whether we like it or not, is the foundation of society." But I'm sure we all know that sometimes it's not always as smooth a foundation as we would like. When you're part of a large family and you're growing up together, you sometimes feel that you'd like to escape. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever felt like running away, but I sure did when I was a youngster. When I think back to my family and growing up in our small town in Newfoundland, I remember my father as a good, hard-working man, but a very strict disciplinarian. My mother, on the other hand, was a very caring and loving woman who often took our side when Dad was angry at us, and she nurtured us with compassion and with love. And my 5 sisters and 7 brothers were pretty good people as well. But I kept saying, I've got to get out of here. Got to get out of here. But I promised myself I would not run away until I got all my Christmas gifts opened. And when I opened them up, there was usually enough to keep me around for another little while. So I stayed. And even in the broader community where I lived, the friends and neighbors around us, the thing that stands out most in my mind was how we cared for each other. We loved each other and looked out for each other. And when the children played in one yard or another, the parents of those particular children looked after everyone who came into the yard, not just their own children. When good things happened, everyone celebrated. When bad things happened, everyone pulled together to help out. When someone died, we grieved together. We were like one big family. Now, the family is often very special and sometimes underappreciated. And for many, the family is probably thought about with nostalgia during Christmas. Some of the memories can be joyful. When you were a little child and Christmas was dazzling, magic, gifts everywhere. But some could also be very sad. If your parents have passed away, or if someone near and dear to you and you loved very much in the family has gone home, or some other kind of crisis has affected the family. These can be sad times, and laboring through difficult times, making difficult decisions and worrying about the future can be quite stressful. And yet, it is through this particular community, the community of the family, with its high highs and its low lows, that God chooses to enter our humanity. When God decided to become a human being, he decided to come as a member of a family. When we look at Christmas, we're looking at a little child, a helpless child, who needs his mom, who needs his dad, who needs all kinds of things. But this is God himself. This is God, the creator of the world. This is God who could change the whole world in an instant if he so desired. But instead, what he decided to do was become a helpless little child and enter into our need as human beings. On Christmas, we heard of Jesus entering the world and our physical needs, needing swaddling clothes, needing a place to sleep, needing attention, care, and protection from Mary and Joseph, his mom and dad. And in today's gospel, we heard a very human story of the child Jesus living as an ordinary human being and being amazed at the temple, being comfortable enough to stay there, knowing that his Father was in this very special place. So we say to ourselves, why did God do this? Because by being a human being, Jesus entered into our deepest need, the need for love. I think people understand that at the root of family is love. And God came to show us that this is the way you learn to love. You learn to place yourself in the hands of others. You learn to know your need for God, to know your need for each other, know your need for the people that populate your neighborhood, those that are around you. You need them, and the great hunger in your heart to feel love will only come from them. God is not showering love out of the sky like rain. Like Mary and Joseph, we can often go looking for Jesus, fretting, worried, looking all over town. You will find him, though, in a family, because the birth of the Savior consecrates the family. It makes the family very important. It brings us into the Father's house. God himself has given us life, and he has done it in the only way that it should be done. He gives us life in a family so that we might understand that if we are to find God, we must not look up into the clouds. We must look into the family. Jesus teaches us that we are sisters and brothers. We are one family under God. This love begins in the family, born in our hearts as we come into the world as a little child. We're held very closely and with great care by our parents and by the people around us. And from there it grows out, fostering the love that the community around us might have. This is how we become a community. But we must bring with it a weakness and a need for others, a need for sharing and a need for caring. And God is very happy to give that to us. God only makes loving human beings. When we think that we are really someone useless at times, maybe not as talented as we'd like to be, and maybe we'll never be famous like some of the celebrities, and maybe we'll never be rich, Jesus wants us to know that deep down inside, we are what we are, created by God, holy and sacred. When he makes us, he never leaves us. And because he never leaves us, he is always with us. He is with us in times of difficulty, in times of pain, and in times of sorrow. But he is also there in times of celebration, in times of greatness, and in times when the world seems like a wonderful place to be. And then there is the ultimate triumph of love. The little baby in Bethlehem who now comes forth as the Savior of the world. And that is the heart of Christmas. So where do we look for Jesus? Or we might say, where do we look for the love that God wishes to give us? We look to find Jesus in the manger, in the family, but we will also find him ultimately on the cross. God is saying on the cross, you must learn to love. And when you fail, rise up again and try again to love. Because when Jesus is on the cross, everything is taken from him. He says to his Father, into your hands I commend my soul. To God himself he says, you must forgive them, because they know not what they are doing. So today, this Holy Family Sunday, let us rejoice and look again around you at the members of our family, and look again at the members of your own family. You know that the family is the only place that they have to take you back, no matter where you've gone or what you've done. Think about that for a minute. In this way, the family reflects the love of God, who has chosen the most sacred institution, which is the family. We must honor it, we must support it, and we must learn to forgive in it. We must learn how to love in it. We must learn how to care for the people that really matter and grow in the thing that matters most, love of God and love of each other. Jesus did not come to earth in order to be Mary and Joseph's child, just the opposite. Mary and Joseph came into earthly existence to prepare this boy as the Son of God and his role as the Son of God. And of course, every family's duty is to rear their children as best they can and then send them out from home when they have become adults. Jesus came into the world to restore us to peace and friendship with God in heaven. Let us today pray that where there is division, his coming will bring healing and unity. Where there is strife, that he will bring peace and forgiveness. On this Holy Family Sunday, may we know that the love we learn in the family will flow out into the world around us. Mary and Joseph helped prepare Jesus to love in this way, and we wish today to do the same.